What's up, my Yu-Gi Bros? I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0. Welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! In Business Casual. When I started getting comments on my entry for the next great Yu-Gi tuber, I was really surprised by the variety of responses that I got from people who are absolute loyalists to one deck to players who will not touch a deck if they don't think it's the best deck of the format. I realized after that while my approach to finding your ideal deck, the deck that you want to run, is really strong, it only focuses on one reason why people make decks in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! So today I wanted to discuss the 4 very different ways that people choose the decks they play. Alright, while I'm on the subject of the next great Yu-Gi tuber, yes, I do have to do one shameless plug because as of right now, when I'm making this video, my competitor, DualRock88, has overtaken me, basically overnight from a 100-point lead, and you guys have been working really hard to publicize this video and to get votes for me. So if you haven't done so already, I'm talking to you, the person watching this video, I need you to take just 10 seconds, not even that if your internet is faster than mine. Take 10 seconds, click on the link in the description below, and hit that thumbs up button. This contest means a ton to me, and it would really suck to lose it in the last minute. Like, literally the last minute, we have 9 hours to go. Also, more importantly, there is the promise that I have made to all of you that if I win this competition, I do have to parody and dance to Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. So if you can't do it for me, do it for Freddie Mercury. Click on that link, hit the thumbs up button. I need each and every one of you. Thank you. Let's get on to our regularly scheduled content. When you are solely in it to win it, it makes a whole lot of sense to play the deck that you think is the best deck to play at that event. It doesn't necessarily mean you can't have fun at it. There's a massive thrill in playing a deck at the highest level of competition possible. It's also a lot of fun to play a deck that you don't necessarily know how to play, to learn how to play a deck that isn't necessarily your playstyle. And playing the best deck for an event doesn't even mean that you are limited to playing what is widely considered to be the best deck of the format. If you are playing a deck that people aren't going to see coming and that has really good matchups against the meta, it makes perfect sense to play that because that could be considered the best deck for that event, because you could do the best with that deck at that event. This is the one that I refer to most on my channel. Business casual focused deck building uses your ideal deck type to find the competitive deck for the format that matches the way that you like to play the best. This is the way to go when you want to play at a competitive level, but you want to play the kind of deck you're best at. This is also the best focus for an intermediate player who is very experienced with a certain kind of deck, but may not have the experience with decks that are considered the best deck of the format to play on the level with other competitive players. Sometimes a player wants to play a very specific deck, whether or not it is a particularly competitive deck in and of its own right. Deck-focused deck building seeks to build the most competitive version of a certain deck. For instance, I have a friend at Locals who really loves Harpies, and while he acknowledges that Harpies in and of themselves, of their own right, are not the most competitive deck of the format, they're not the highest tier deck, he wants to make them as good to take on the format as possible so that he can play them at least at a local level and still be able to win. There's also a lot of skill to be gained in building a deck to have its most competitive form possible. When a player doesn't care about winning an event or are playing with friends, they'll sometimes play a deck for an alternative purpose. That purpose could be certain plays they want to pull off, or putting together silly combinations of cards, hell, even playing a deck that matches a certain character from the anime. One example of an alternative deck focus is the Armory Arm Turbo deck that I am working for, the November Stupid deck of the month, where the purpose is not necessarily to win, the purpose is really to get Armory Arm on the board as many times and in as many different ways as possible. Really, I just build that deck because I really like Armory Arm. Building a deck for an alternative purpose doesn't necessarily mean you don't want to win, it just means that it isn't necessarily the focus of why you are building that deck. In conclusion, there are a ton of reasons why players build decks, and not one of them is the right or the wrong reason. As long as you know why you're building a deck and you are focusing on accomplishing that purpose, you can do whatever you want, and it doesn't necessarily make you a better or worse player. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below, and of course, click on that link and thumbs up my entry to the next great YouTuber. You only have like 9 hours left to go. Also, subscribe for more decks, discussion, analysis, and general Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans. Thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, the one, the only, the RJB0, and I got a jet. See ya.